get the character. All right. What is going on? What? Huh? I can't speak. What's going on, everybody? Listen, today I wanted to talk about something very important because it's about combos in Street Fighter V. And everybody knows that combos in Street Fighter V are the easiest thing in the world. A baby could just smash onto the sticks and get high damage combos. And, you know, for the most part, it's true. Combos in Street Fighter V are definitely not a priority. Gone are the days of grinding your one-frame jab link B&Bs for 5% damage over and over so that you don't drop it in a tournament match. Street Fighter V, the focus is generally not execution. However, I think there's something interesting going on under the hood in a lot of situations that maybe it goes over the heads for some viewers, because I'm talking about the secretly difficult combos in Street Fighter V. I'm not going to bring up another Minot V-Trigger 1 example. We all know about, you know, certain situations in this game where, you know, high execution prevails. But actually, there's a lot of subtle things that are going on in the engine and with certain characters where high execution comes into play, and there's subtle things that you can look for to know if someone has really mastered their character. Today, we're going to cover 3 secretly top-tier difficulty combos and explain why they're useful and kind of the mechanics of what those combos are going for. So let's go ahead and get right into it. First, you know, let's explain a little bit why combos are easy in Street Fighter V, right? It all comes down to this thing called a buffer. Now, if I wanted to do a combo in this game, I could do something like this, right? I can do a counter hit, crouching medium punch, standing medium kick, link that into a special move. Now, sure, that's a basic combo. It revolves around a link and a special cancel. But why is this necessarily easier than other games? If you look at this, I believe this is actually a one-frame link. +7 on counter hit. I believe Akuma's standing medium kick is 7 frames. I could be wrong. Oh, it's 6 frames. It's a 2-frame link, this link. Do we have a 1-frame link one? Let's change up the example here. Standing medium punch counter hit is +5 on hit. Medium kick is 5 frame startup, right? This is a 1-frame link. So if you actually look at the frame data, this is frame perfect. You know, you have to have this medium kick come out right after you recover from the medium punch in order to link it after the standing medium punch on counter hit. So this is a 1-frame link. But if you've ever played other games besides Street Fighter V, maybe like Street Fighter 4, and tried to do a 1-frame link, you know you would not be pulling it off this casually as I'm doing it right here. So what's the secret? Well, notice how I can either time the button in order to have it connect, or I can double tap it, triple tap it. I can practically just mash the button. And the reason that is because Street Fighter V has a big buffer window. We used to think it was 3 frames. I think that the actual science broke down that the buffer is more like 4 to 5 frames on normals. But basically there's a buffer where if you press the button after a recovery of a move close enough, it just gives you the button right away. So what that does is it makes links kind of mashable. Like when I land this counter hit standing medium punch, I don't have to strictly time this button. In Street Fighter 4, a 1-frame link like that is incredibly tight. You would have to spend a lot of time practicing that, but that's not how this game works because the buffer makes pretty much every combo very easy in that sense. The buffer kind of smooths over all the links, so that way you're focused more on the gameplay and less on the execution. However, there is some clever ways the game engine gets around that buffer, and that is actually the first secretly difficult combo I want to talk about. And that is, of course, with Abigail. Well, no, it's not Akuma. I'm not going to show a hard combo with Akuma. It's actually Abigail. Believe it or not, Abigail is not just, you know, the brain-dead monster you see in ranked just spamming back fierce punch and robbing people with V-Trigger. He actually has some really difficult combo conversions, and they're very clever. I'm going to let the training mode dummy take it away because I cannot do this combo on the fly. I had to get a recording for it, because it's that hard that I would just sit here messing it up over and over. So here it is. This combo is secretly extremely difficult. And I mean, for good reason, right? He's doing like an easy 500 damage from the sequence, or close to it. But this combo is really difficult, and I'll break down exactly why. So Abigail's V-Trigger 1 lets him do these charge heavy punches, and the way they work is you press the button and you hold it. If you charge it all the way, it automatically releases, or you can time a release. So I talked about that buffer previously. One interesting thing is that the buffer does not account for releasing a button. To do this combo, you need to charge this back fierce to a certain amount to get the launch. They don't get juggled if you charge too little. If you charge it too much, however, they just hit the ground. So instead of having the timing be on the activation of the button, the timing for this juggle is on the release of the button instead. I think it's super clever how they get around that buffer system by relying on what they call negative edge, the negative edge of releasing a button. It's good they did that because this combo does like mad damage, but if you see an Abigail player land this, it's really hard. You have to charge right away and release at the very perfect moment when they're at the lowest point in their falling animation to pick them back up again, and it's really hard. It's really hard. So if you see an Abigail land the double back fierce in V-Trigger 1 from EX Command Grab, you know that that guy has put in a lot of work and took the risk. He took the risk to go for that combo because you could easily drop that combo and lose out on a lot of damage. It's definitely something to look out for, to recognize when someone's really mastered the character. Okay, so the next secretly difficult combo, it's going to be related to a topic I've talked about recently, but it's just going to be like a basic Guile B&B. Basic Guile B&B, so it shouldn't be anything too special, right? And if you pay attention to the inputs, you can notice there's something interesting which makes it actually difficult. So let's find out the secret reason why this combo is actually hard to do, and I'll try to recreate it live myself. So it's jump and heavy kick into... Okay. Standing fierce punch, and then crouching medium punch into sonic boom. So the problem here is, if you notice here, if I hold back when I try to do the fierce punch, you actually get a different move. You get this back fist, right? Or this is back fist, the forward fierce punch, but if you're holding back and punch, he does a completely different move. So if I try to do this, usually your inclination when doing charge specials is that, or playing charge characters in general, is that when you do any motion or any jump, you start holding down back to build your charge right away. If I were to do jump in, crouch strong to sonic boom right away, that's no problem, right? If I wanted to do an extension though, I can't do this back heavy punch because it's only +2. You can't combo after this. However, standing fierce punch, if I'm not even holding a direction at all, is +7. Meaning I can link my crouching strong. What this means is for this sequence of the combo, I lose charge and then I have to immediately go back to down back so that during this time I build my charge for the sonic boom. If I just do standing fierce, crouching strong, I'm not gonna have charge for the sonic boom. So there's actually this little execution or knowledge check for if you understand how to use charge characters built into the inputs. So the difficulty here is not the timing of the buttons. The difficulty here is the timing of the charge. I land this jump in, I need to press fierce punch and then immediately go back to down back, right? That gives you time to start building the charge, and then you can cancel that into the sonic boom that way. So it's secretly difficult. It's not that hard if you know charge characters, but it's one of those things that if you pick up Guile for the first time and you don't understand the trick, you're not going to be able to do this combo. There's a trick behind it, and that's, you know, required for a lot of higher execution charge situations, especially loops and other things that Guile has. It requires just awareness with the charge. However, that's not the whole combo, right? After that sequence, you have this move into super. So similar situation going on here. This launching move is an interesting input because it's only activated by doing down forward heavy kick. You keep your down charge, but it prevents you from having your back charge. You can't hold back at all and get this move. If you hold down or down back, you're just gonna get sweep. So that's not the move you need. So to get this into Guile Super, and I'll remind you, Guile Super requires a back charge. Back, forward, right? So you can hold back to get the charge for the super, but you're gonna lose it if you try to do that down forward heavy kick, right? So if you do down forward heavy kick, it's going to launch them, but you cannot have charge for the super unless you're just fast with it. So this sequence alone also requires that certain like charge timing where you have to do down forward and heavy kick and then immediately go to the charge by holding back. So if you're not aware of how fast you have to do that, you're not going to build the charge in time in order to get the super. So there's just a couple of charge tricks mixed in here to make this combo a lot harder than it might appear. Because if you just do other standard characters B and Bs, they don't have to worry about any of these situational things that you can mess up during the combo. But that's the second secretly hard combo, and it's not even his hardest. I'm going to be honest, this is one of the easier ones that Guile has by far. I'm not a Guile player, so I'm not trying to go deep into the depths of charge mechanics here, but there's a lot of these things to look out for. So if you start noticing these kind of moves in the middle of the combos and charge special moves after, you can recognize that the Guile players is doing a lot of charge tricks to pull that off that you might not have recognized before. That brings us to the final secretly difficult combo. And of course, I'm just going to be sticking with Guile here because there's just so many. And I feel like this one, it's the least impressive to look at, which is why it's so impressive when you see what you have to do to achieve it. I'll let you be the judge. 3 lights into a special. It looks like nothing. I mean, you know, you can do this. You see this all over bronze. You can see this on every level. It looks unimpressive as could be, but it has a little trick to it, and it serves a huge purpose in Guile's toolkit. And if you start noticing this sequence or this utility from a Guile player, they know what they're doing. So why is this difficult? Well, if you notice the sequence, it wasn't jab, jab, flash kick. It was jab, jab, standing light kick into flash kick. So this involves one of the tricks that we refer to as charge partitioning in Street Fighter V. Don't get it confused with third strike charge partitioning. I don't know why it's using the same terminology, but it also relies on a buffer, but for charge. The challenging part here is you're doing a standing normal into an down up charge special move. It's very easy to cancel crouching normals to charge down up special moves, but it's a little weirder to do it from standing moves because when you let go of down, you lose your charge. I need specifically this standing light kick. And the reason being, after 2 lights, there's no other special cancelable lights that will connect. Jab, jab, jab. The third jab will whiff. Jab, jab. Standing jab's not going to work, but that's also a standing one. It's not very useful. And then crouching light kick is not special cancelable, and it doesn't even reach. Maybe if they're crouching it would reach, but you need something that's going to be far enough range and special cancelable. And for that situation, it happens to be standing light kick. So you have to practice doing down charge, release, press light kick, and then up plus like heavy kick or whatever flash kick you're using. And you have to do that in a very strict timing to get that sequence to happen. See, I'm even messing it up there. There's a certain rhythm to it that good Guile players have mastered. And this is a common trick that you see, especially with Urien. This is how headbutt loops work, right? Doing standing normals canceled into down up charge specials is actually pretty integral to high level charge mastery with Urien and Guile, for example. So it's very unimpressive, but the reason it's also so useful is because it's the only way for Guile to be able to dash up and build charge and still get the special cancel to happen, right? Because if I do dash up, jab, jab, there's no way for me to build the charge in time to get the flash kick, right? You actually don't have time. I can't really get anything from here. I'm not gonna have boom charge. I'm not gonna have a flash kick charge. So without this technique, if you dashed up and did jab, this was it. This is all you would be able to get from that. But if you mastered the charge trick here, you could be able to dash up and get this much damage, get a knockdown, and get pressure. So without this trick, you wouldn't be able to get the knockdown and the pressure, and that's huge in this game, right? So it's very, very subtle, but secretly difficult to do. And it's just one of those things where if you see a Guile player doing this, you know that they know their character. It just shows a little bit of mastery that maybe the next Guile player won't have. If you see those details, pay attention. Give them the props. And that's all I had for this one. 3 combos, which I thought were always interesting to me, that I always look out for, and I say, you know, props to you, respect to you if you pull these off in a real match. I thought they were interesting because they covered a lot of different tricks that the game engine has in order to separate player level and execution skill. So most of these combos in Street Fighter V, you're right, they're easy, but there's definitely ways to spice it up and certain little interesting touches that characters have that people use to make them better than the next dude playing the same character. So that's all I have for this video, guys. If you enjoyed the video, please make sure to leave a comment. Let me know what combos that you think are actually really hard to do in Street Fighter V. Subscribe to the channel if you like the video, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.